Hey there, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
And on this week's episode,
It's the holidays, so we decided to spend even longer making a podcast episode.
An hour and a half episode instead.
We dive deep and figure out what Mark is among the 7 best people in the world at. Stay tuned.
I share a story where I talk about being rude to Evan's wife.
And I get really excited. Mark tells me he loves me too. That's meaningful. I love you back, man.
I enjoyed it. How's it going? Merry Christmas, everyone.
Here we are. Something the Poop podcast. Mark Drager, holiday edition. He's in the studio. He's looking fancy.
Yes. What are you eating there?
Keto bar.
Nice.
Good
Nice.
bats.
I got Jacqueline a few of those, different flavors. Dropped it in her stocking. It's a nice little stocking stuffer. Yeah, fun stuff.
We did no presents and no stockings this year for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're proud of that?
Yeah. Just for Nina and I. The,
Yeah.
the kids all got their stuff, and we got stuff for our parents and all that stuff. But yeah, this year, Nina and I, no stockings.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. We've been texting a lot. Or you don't text. I Facebook, messaging, and all that stuff. But
Right.
yeah, it's been a stressful week
Really?
for me. Yeah.
Huh.
Because my friend Evan decided that he was going to work right till Christmas Day. So you were sending me a lot of questions regarding ads and other things like that too. So that also piled a bit on my stress.
Oh, well, just ignore it, dude. Let's still go.
I can't ignore it, dude. Acts of service is my love language.
Oh, okay. Then you're servicing. Then you're instead of being stressed out about me, you love me. You're welcome.
Yes, that's what
I'm helping
what I
you
meant.
give on Christmas. Jesus, Mark.
I love it. Anyway, you had Hayden at home. He flew in.
Yeah. I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break. I got this, and then I have to be on Michael Stelzner's podcast.
Mm-hmm. No, but I mean, how is it? How is it seeing your son? How's Christmas? You went to visit your parents
it's great.
yesterday. Your mom guilted your wife into eating pasta that I found out about.
Okay.
Nina was texting me really late last night, or not texting me, Facebook messaging me, whatever.
Yeah.
Trying to get tips on how to stick to keto through the holidays and not make people feel bad about it.
Oh, really? She's asked you for tips on that? That's interesting.
Yeah. We talked for like 15 minutes about it. I gave her some advice, which was don't feel bad about it.
That's what I told her. Yeah.
And I said, don't feel bad about it. And Nina, do you remember? I said, Nina, do you remember when I was coming to your house for dinner? I confirmed 3 times with you that you were going to cook keto food, because if you weren't, I was going to bring my own.
Right.
And I was like, that's what you need to do when you go to someone else's house. Hey, it's not a big deal. If you're not going to serve keto, don't worry about it. I'll bring my own food, but don't make extra for me because I'm not going to eat it. If you just do that in advance, everybody's dandy.
Nina's at her 1 year low, or more than a year low. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm 0.2 pounds away, I think, from my 1 year low.
So
actually, no, sorry, not 1 year low. Since I got back from the tour, I was lower when I got from my tour by like 3 pounds, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. It's good.
My scale battery died and I haven't replaced it yet. So I don't know what I'm at.
Your scale is just like, your scale feels like you've moved on. Your scale is just giving up on itself because it can't handle the awesomeness.
I like that. Anyway, it's weird. It's weird doing a podcast a little bit. Right now, I mean, this is coming out on Tuesday, but it's like it's a lull time of year, right? You know, like people are in a lull, right?
Oh, really? I guess
Christmas and New Year's, things slow down a little bit. I think it's a great time to like really dig into like a passion project. What do you think, Evan? Like the type of thing that you get obsessed with and that you just gotta like jump on right away.
I think every time's a good time to get into a passion project and be obsessed on.
So what are you working on now? Hey,
I'm not taking your bait, Mark. I'm not taking your bait. You gotta say what you want to say. Let the words come out, Mark.
Last night I was
I want to see you be brave.
You want me to see me be brave? Last night I was trying to go to bed and I was trying to fall asleep, and I'm trying to get to sleep at a good time because I'm still getting up at 6, which is a sleeping in for me. And Evan's like, hey, Mark, I want to talk to you about my logo. And we're going back and forth on
I
this
did not say that.
Of course not. But you're asking
not
some
right.
questions. And I was like, yeah, tomorrow morning I'll send you some stuff. I'm going to work on it. I've been working on it. I've got these ideas. He's like, I got to get this fixed now. And I'm like, that's not going to happen, man.
No, I didn't lean on you to say you need to get this done now.
No, you wanted to get it fixed.
Yeah. I'm frustrated that I can't get it done, that I don't have the skills and the resources and the people
I
and the
told
knowledge
you
and
being impatient, that the logo has, your logo and your wording and your branding has been the way it's been for many years. So what's another day?
oh my God, that's like the opposite of extraordinary. What are you even saying, dude?
What I'm saying is,
like, listen to that recording back and then
what I'm
vomit
saying
inside
is,
your mouth when you hear that again.
what I'm saying is that if you were fine with it being so the last few years, then what's another day?
I'm not even like, we're not.
Let me go to sleep.
This is the epitome of loser thinking right here. Let's just leave it another day. Let's just leave it. It's been garbage for this so long, so let's just leave it.
Yeah.
No, that is the exact like.
Let Mark go to bed. Let Mark go to sleep.
Yes, great. Go to sleep, Mark. It's amazing.
Dude, I can't. If you ask for something, I have to respond. If you're like, hey, help me with this, I will help you with it.
I didn't say help me with this.
Okay.
I appreciate everything that you're doing, but if you can't, then you can't.
Yeah, I finally did that this morning.
Awesome.
I was like, gotta go to the gym.
Yeah, man, stuff happens.
Yeah,
I appreciate every insight and every nugget. We have a couple nuggets.
I just want to help you unlock everything.
I agree, dude. I appreciate it. It's all love. But if you can't and you're doing family or you're in the hospital or whatever, great. Like, it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm frustrated with myself. I'm frustrated with the situation. I'm frustrated that I know I want to be somewhere and I don't know how to do the thing. I'm not frustrated with you for not showing up and doing your part.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm grateful for everything. Grateful for every moment, every second, every bit of energy that you spend helping my brand grow.
Can I tell you a story?
No.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about?
What kind of question is that? What do
I've
we do on this podcast?
I've started them before, but sometimes you're like, oh my goodness, you can't even put up with the stories.
Well, it depends, Mark. Depends on the story. Okay.
So it's Christmas Eve, and I'm at my family's house.
Oh yeah.
And listen, I don't think I'm sharing anything that anyone would get upset about. But I'm at my grandfather's house with all my cousins and my extended family. There's like 35 of us. And so I'm speaking to someone who I don't talk to very often, maybe 5 times a year. And he goes, how's work going? And usually I don't answer that question to people because it's just, we're in a transition year. It's really complex. It's really busy. Most people don't understand what I do. They don't understand how I do it. Right. Most people in my family don't. They think that Mark just does some video stuff. They don't get it. And I'm fine. I'm kind of cool with that. But anyway, this guy is in business and he's really, really sharp. So I was like, well, it's actually a bit of a transition year. So I went into it. I was like, well, it's a transition year and we've worked through some staff and we're really shifting a culture and we're moving from project-based work to recurring revenue-based work that's KPI-based to help people overcome their challenges. And like I explained the whole thing and he's like, his response was, that sounds really hard. And I was like, yeah, I mean, he works for a really big corporation. I'm like, I guess so. It's not really that hard. I mean, it's Evan. For our audio listeners, Evan just gave the signal of him rolling his eyes, shrugging his shoulders, and also wanting to shoot himself in the head. So then I was like, well, I mean, the biggest challenge I'm facing right now is I have to have 7 different departments that are all staffed with really great people. And I got to be able to build this thing. I need the people to get the sales. I need the sales to get the people. I got to be able to build this thing at scale that works, but I can't run out of cash. And I got to be able to build. And he's just like, wow, that's really scary. And I'm like, well, it's not really scary. I don't think. I think it's just hard. It's just something I got to do. I got to figure out and it'll work or it won't work. And that's that. And then he goes like, I don't know. I don't have to deal with that. I only work 24 hours a week. I'm like, what? He's like, I work from home 2 days a week and I don't do any work on those days I work from home. I just go into the office 3 days a week, show my face. I'm like, don't you want to be challenged by your work? Don't you want to be challenged? Don't you want to have things be a little bit scary or a little bit unknown? He's like, not really. And I was like, wow. I didn't think people like that existed like that consciously. Like I think I always thought from you, like people either got it or they didn't get it. But some people are just like, I'm cool. I don't really want to do that much work. What do you say to these people? I was like, I didn't know what to say.
I'm thinking about another line. So you didn't catch this earlier in the podcast, but I was speaking lyrics from a song when I said, Mark, say what you want to say. Let the words come out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave.
Okay.
That's
That's
the
a rap,
song.
is it?
No. Say what you want to say. Let
Don't
the
know the song yet.
words come out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. No, you don't know the
Oh,
song?
it's Katy Perry?
I don't think
Roar?
so.
Is it?
Might be, but anyway, that was the
Okay.
song. So I just spoke it into our conversation. I was very happy with
Yeah.
myself about that. Anyway, another lyric is coming to mind.
Sarah Bareilles. Okay.
Yeah. You don't know that song? Now I feel a little less good about it.
No, I do know that song when you hit the
Okay,
chorus.
good. Okay, good. Now I feel better about it. Good, perfect. That guy, there's another song that came up. I forget what it's called, but there's one line. It's insane, and it's like, it's this guy's life. It's this guy's life.
Okay.
And I forget the start. It was like, I never saw that I was starving until I tasted you. Or I never thought that I was starving until I tasted you.
Okay.
Or something like that. Mark's going to look it up. He's going to get the exact lyrics. I never something I was starving till I tasted you.
Yep.
What is it?
Hold on.
I never saw or
I never thought that I was starving till I
Yeah.
tasted you.
That's the problem.
Yes, it's by Haley.
Yep.
Haley Steinfeld and Gray.
Right. That's your cousin.
Yeah.
The man is starving and doesn't even know it. Don't you want to be challenged? No. Starving.
I was like, oh.
Starving.
Okay.
Starving, dude. Starving.
Yeah.
He hates his life. He doesn't even know what's possible. He hates his life. He's going home and crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally hates his life. So don't be shocked, but that's most people. Most people hate their life. Most people are starving.
I hear what you're saying, and I hear you say it. I hear other people say it.
Yeah.
I know that it exists.
Yeah, that's him.
I guess I always thought that it was like I once was blind, but now I see, right? Like you just didn't know. But I haven't really come across too many people who are just like, no, I don't want to be more challenged. It's like, it's not fear holding them back that I'm aware of. It's not an overt fear. It's not like them dreaming and dreaming and dreaming and then it just never really happening, or them trying little things in spits and spurts or whatnot. Like, so they're really just like, I got a pretty good gig and perfectly happy just not being challenged. I'm like, okay.
Here's what you say. You say, wow, man, I feel sorry for you.
That is a good response. I like that. My family already thinks I've gone crazy. I like that.
I wouldn't do that unless I thought, here's the thing. When you're taking somebody through a path, you have to be confident you can take them out on the other side and not leave them in the valley.
Yeah. I'm not good at any of that stuff yet, but.
So I would never say that. I would only say that if I knew
the person well.
Enough to make a judgment call to say, this is going to lead to a conversation and I'm going to pull them through at the end. Otherwise, it's not work.
Here's the second thing. So there's two things that have been on my mind all week. So that was first. The second thing was, because it's Christmas-ish time, it's holiday time, you're visiting people, and I haven't seen people in a while. They're like, wow, Mark, you look really good. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, I do. Right? I feel really good about it. I felt really proud today at the gym. But I was thinking, I was saying to Jacqueline, I was like, she reminded me that you have the 3 panels, right? The first they laugh at you, and then they whatever, and then they cheer you. Mm-hmm. And I was saying to Jack, that's not actually right. I think it's like, first they question, like, what the hell are you doing? And then second, they look at you and they're like, oh, okay, you're seeing some results, but it makes them feel worse about themselves. And then they do everything they can to just hope and dream that you fail. So that way they don't feel, so that way they're like, see, you tried something and you failed. I was right. I was right all along. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that scares me. That scares me with my progress, with health, with all of this stuff. It's like, I just think of everyone who's silently waiting for me to fail. So that way I can come back down to the level I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Make you feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
This is why I said, recall to episode 4, that if you don't.
Episode 4?
If you don't
you remember episode 4?
It's all the same, dude. If you're not a fan of Evan Carmichael, it's because you're not a fan of yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Same thing. If you're not a fan of Mark Drager, you're not a fan of yourself.
Well,
You're not a fan
I'm
of
learning
growth.
all
You're
these
not a
things.
fan of
I'm
doing
learning all
what?
these things. I'm learning all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, from afar, if somebody knows me personally and I did something to screw them up or whatever, awesome. Now you have some context. But if you have no idea and you're just watching from Instagram or videos or podcasts or whatever, and you decide I hate this person, you're not a fan of yourself.
Yeah. It is.
We talked last week about people who didn't like me at your office. They're not a fan of themselves.
Yeah, and why you got to be direct.
Yeah, so great. But who cares if they want you to fail? They're already at the breaking point of depression in their own life. Why does that put pressure on you that then you're gonna, if you fail, you're gonna somehow, you got like their pressure and weight on you?
No. It doesn't. I don't feel the pressure. It it's something to prove or whatever, right? The first is like I want to prove to myself that I can actually have that dream and it's worth pursuing, right? That's the first thing, right? Your belief, right? It's like it's not foolish to want this thing. It's not foolish to try this thing. It's not foolish to go out and get it, but you got to internalize that inside. And then second, you have to be able to start doing it, and then people see it, right? They see you trying, they see you doing it, and that's a really big fear. But then when you start to get progress or start to take steps, the cycle of the feedback of it, of you hitting certain things or unbreaking certain things or challenges or overcoming things, like, feels good. And so the next thing for me with like the something to prove is like then proving that it's sustainable, that you're actually capable of doing it, that it wasn't a fluke, it wasn't luck, it wasn't just a season in your life, it wasn't 3 months of hard work and then you go back to the way you always used to be. It's like then proving to all of the doubters that no, this change we're making in the company is a change that's happening. It's not just talk, the change is actually happening. Okay. Or like I want to get healthy, or I want to start on Instagram, or I want to write a book, or whatever it is. It's like you got to prove to yourself. Then you got to start taking the steps to actually share it with others, so that way they see that you're doing it. But then proving to them that it wasn't just a fluke, I think, is that, what scares me is that I'll go back in any way in my life. I don't want to go backwards now. I want in a year or two, I want to look at this version of Mark and be like, wow, I feel bad for that guy.
There you go. Well, here's the thing. You're going to you will have micro steps back. It's going to happen. But you move forward. So you can't get so attached to the fear of a micro misstep back that you don't jump.
Mm-hmm. Always be jumping.
Always be jumping. And that's going to lead to some micro steps backwards. You're going to mess up sometimes. But macro, you're going to be way ahead next year. That's a genuine fear that prevents people from doing things, is because they're worried they're going to lose something that they have. And so they don't make any progress. Mm-hmm. You will take micro steps back. It's going to happen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What's that smile for?
I don't know. I think a lot of these things come down to like the micro macro scenarios. It's almost always both. It's just perspective. And most people take the opposite perspective on everything, and it keeps them small and keeps them afraid, it keeps them insecure, instead of doing what they actually want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow, man, I really feel sorry for you.
I like that reaction.
I think
that was on my face. I think on my face was like, what? I think it was like, come on.
No.
You want to be challenged.
No. What was on your face was confusion.
Okay.
But it should be
sincere.
No, like, well, sure. The confusion was sincere. It wasn't insincere confusion. It should be pity, which then leads to empathy. And then how you want to respond to it. Huh?
It's all about empathy, right? It's all about empathy.
Podcasts
ago, and you were like, what? That came out of left field.
Empathy?
Yeah.
Empathy is important. But the pity allows you to have the empathy. Like, I wouldn't say that to this person. And again, like in like a 1% situation, I'd actually say those words. But in 99% situation, I'm thinking it. Somebody who's like so confident in mediocrity, buried so much under their own crap. I feel bad for this person. I feel really bad for this person.
But we all have that too, though, right? We just don't see it. Like, unless you have a friend like Evan to come along and poke you all the time.
Sure, we all have it in our own areas, but like this guy's just given up on life. And he has a successful job at some big company, and so nobody around him's gonna like he's made himself the big fish in this tiny little pond. He's starving. He's never like it's gonna be so hard for him to change. It's gonna be so hard for him. He's gonna have to have a huge rude awakening to actually change. I feel bad for him. And if you actually feel bad for him, then what do? Because that shifts it from something to prove. Like a lot of times into something to prove, we can get lost in a negative side of it of, I need to prove to myself that it's right? That like, oh my God, that he's down the wrong path. Because if he's down the right path, then what does that mean about myself who's off doing this thing?
That's interesting.
What's wrong with just being content and working 20 hours a week and blah, blah, blah? Like maybe I'm the one who's doing it all wrong. And because you don't want that to be the case, then it's like fighting extra hard just to prove that everything that you've been putting in is actually worth it. But it's all coming from an insecure, negative place, as opposed to what's actually happened. It's like, no, this guy hates his life.
But this is the thing, right? Like entrepreneurs, leaders, we all face it.
What?
By all measures, by all material measures, this person I was speaking to is much, much more successful than me. And yet I'm just like, oh man, I felt like I had to like bring things down a bit just to ensure that I wasn't like overwhelming him with blowing his mind with craziness.
Yeah.
So,
and what you're doing isn't even that crazy, right?
Not yet, but
it's not even that crazy.
Dude, I come from a traditional, conservative, nice upper middle class family.
Great.
where you do your thing. I'm already pushing the boundaries of acceptability. The fact that I over Christmas that I didn't break keto. Right now, I didn't stick to my like really low 1,700 a day calorie thing. And on Christmas morning, I ate breakfast. So I broke my fast a little early. But other than that, I stuck to keto. And everyone's like, but you have to live, Mark. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I feel this is the one Christmas I feel amazing. I feel great. I'm sleeping better. I feel better about myself. We went shopping and we bought clothes that like, actually fit me properly. Like apparently I'm a medium in Lululemon.
Hello.
So I was like, well, that seems cool, rather than being like not being able to shop at those places at all. So I don't think I need to, let loose to balance out life or whatever.
But you have nothing to justify to them.
Yes, you do.
Well, but that's the problem. Then
of course.
Okay. Well, that's what leads to the unhappiness. Like, I'm good. Like the response, they're coming, picking, and poking, which could easily lead to a fight if you're defensive. And it can go like,
I'm just like, I'm pretty happy with it. It's like when people talk about exercise or diets and they say that's not sustainable because when you go back, you're going to gain all your weight. And the answer is like, yeah, but you don't go back. That's it. Like, hey, working really, really hard and putting it on the line is not sustainable. It's like, well, if you want the results, then you choose to live that life. You can't turn into a 24-hour week person and get those things.
You know what? Newsflash, life isn't sustainable.
You should have said it with more anger. Can you give me another take?
I'm not angry. I feel sorry. It's pity.
Okay.
I'll get angry at other things, but
I gotta tell you, man, I don't know if you listened to it, probably not because it's audio only.
Okay.
The 8 minutes of Evan yelling at Mark that I cut together from the last year, I love it. I listened to it so many times. I love it so much.
Okay.
Just pulling the best clips of your voice getting squeaky, of you being like, no, what are you talking about? And just like straight yelling. Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good.
Well, send it to me. I haven't heard it. I want to hear
Insta.
it. Huh?
It's on my Insta.
Oh, is it? Okay. I haven't been consuming anything. I need to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But is it a video? No, it's just audio.
It's audio only because I went to start pulling the video clips, but I literally would have to go to 19 different podcasts and find the exact moments. And it would have taken like 10 hours to put together. So
That's fine. All right.
yeah. And I didn't think that you'd want me to ask Christina to do that right now. Start hijacking your team.
Yeah, we're skipping a life with Evan we're skipping a video. We're skipping 1 week's of video over the holidays. We're skipping 1 week of video.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal because we haven't skipped a video in like.
I know.
Listen,
the reason we're doing this podcast right now is because I told Nina last night, I was like, oh, Nina, we could take a week off over Christmas. And she's like, 4:30 tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Well, because it's not just Chris's, it's also I've got, I don't know how many ads, like 15 ads or 20 ads or something that I recorded for the tour that Mark gave me a great template, I guess, to follow. Mm-hmm. And so she's got to edit those in all sorts of in 3 different formats and put captions on everything. And then Sadhguru asked me to do a testimonial video that we need to get up before the new year, talking about him. And then what other project? I don't remember. Anyway, like all of these bonus things that have to get done like ASAP. Mm-hmm. Plus, Christmas season. So normally we're way ahead and we plan for this stuff, right? So I messaged Alex this morning, like, where's the videos? Like, he's supposed to be posting videos on the TDS channel. Like, awesome that you did he did this thing on Christmas to make an ad for TDS, but we still need to I'm still getting videos up. Like, we're still getting stuff done. But we're missing one video on my personal vlog channel. Every other video is going up. So we do 6 videos a day across, I don't know, 11 channels or something by now. So one video is not going up out of the 6 in 1 week. And it's like this, it's like, okay, whew, wow.
So sorry. So you're not saying the elephant in the room. Who is the one who's making this a big deal? Your team or you?
Everybody.
Who's the one who feels like we're not getting that video up?
No, like, well, all of us, even the fact that was even a consideration is a big deal.
Right, to you.
We don't skip videos, but we're faced with these 2 options where, like, we need to get these things done. My team can't handle, I don't have an overflow person to handle that. We're not usually bombarded with like so many things, and it's holidays. Mm-hmm. So as much as we planned ahead, we didn't plan ahead enough to get all of this stuff done. And me, filming on Christmas. I worked all Christmas because Hayden didn't come until 7:00 at night on Christmas. So I think it's a fantastic lesson. Like, people give themselves a break, I think, too much.
But 2 podcasts ago, we talked about intentionality.
Yeah, intentionality.
It's not the break of like for me, this 2 weeks, I intentionally want to take off. I want to unplug. I want to spend time with my kids and my family. Mm-hmm. And I want to do those things.
I agree. And
people dragging me back into work makes me feel like I'm losing the ability to have an intentional time away from work.
Great. So
clients, team, people emailing me questions, all of those things.
Put up walls, dude. That's what they're for. If Evan Carmichael sends you a logo and like, I'm with my kids, sorry, man. Okay, cool. And if they can't understand that, then screw them.
Yeah.
And when you feel like doing an active service.
Last week's podcast was be more direct. It's actually selfish if you're not more direct. I got to be more direct. I tried being really direct with Nina on Saturday, and okay. I felt terrible.
With my wife?
Yes.
Wait. This is amazing. Hold on.
Try being direct with
Hold on. You were working on being more direct with people. Yes. And the first person you picked to be more direct is my wife, Nina.
Because she's very direct.
Oh, this is amazing. Okay, great. I love this story. This is a good story. Okay, so what happened?
Okay, so Saturday morning, I take my daughter to dance. And so I have 2.5 hours to sit there, and I say, okay, I'm going to edit the podcast. I'm going to catch up on all these things. And you and I have been talking about an opportunity to have parts of the podcast go into your Instagram stream.
Yes.
Right. So she sent me some videos on the day before. So here's the thing that people need to understand working with Evan. Evan has a calendar. Evan has a schedule. If you send him something on a Monday, that's not really that's a Wednesday thing. He's not going to talk about it or look at it until Wednesday.
Probably.
But if Nina at 4:30 on a Friday, of Christmas holidays send something, she wants it done immediately, regardless if anyone else has a schedule. So I text her back and I say, I'm sorry, I'm at a Christmas party at work. I'm having a party at my house tonight. I will not be able to look at it until tomorrow, like 11. And she goes, okay, great. So at 11, I look at it, and
okay, well, hold on. Even in there, there's already so she wants it done immediately. You said, I'm going to do it tomorrow at 11. She said, okay, great.
Yes. No, that worked. That worked.
You being more direct. That's
me being more direct.
That's a great step.
That's me being more direct. I'm trying here. Okay.
I like it. Okay.
Okay. So she sends me these clips without any context. None of it makes sense, but I'm like, okay, Evan, that's fine. Evan, I like a lot of context. Evan's way of working is not a lot of context.
What were the clips about? My videos, like the ads?
They were videos. They were extracted from this podcast. So 3 different extractions from the podcast.
Okay.
And so I looked at them, and they didn't have any branding. They didn't have our music. They didn't have our graphics. One of them was the exact same video that I had released the week earlier. So I said, why not just use, like, I can send you the video file. Just use my file.
Okay.
Because I already did the music. I already did the graphics. I already did everything.
Okay.
And she goes, no, it needs to have Evan graphics. I said, okay, well, I can give you your team my project files, and they can replace them with Evan graphics.
Okay.
And she goes, and then I think you must have been out, because she literally, I think she asks you questions, and then you just respond, and she types exactly what you say.
Okay.
Because it goes, no, Evan says fonts suck. I'm like, okay, but you can change the fonts.
Drive me nuts.
Fine, perfect. We have different designs. Anyway, I'm like, okay, but you can do this. You can do this. So every time I made a suggestion, she said no. She's like, no, they can't be recut. Christina's already done the work. We're not going to do it again. I said, why am I spending any time on this?
Okay.
And she said, I just need titles.
Okay.
And I was like, you guys release so many videos. You guys are awesome at titles. Why are you sending me clips to come up with titles when your team is amazing at coming up with titles?
Okay.
And then she went silent. And so I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Basically saying, don't send me stuff for me to come up with titles when your team is amazing at doing this. Like, you guys can come up with some titles for this.
Okay. And then did you piss
her
off?
off?
What happened?
I never heard anything.
Okay. Is she upset at you?
I don't know. I don't think so, because anyway, an hour went by. I felt terrible. I felt so like.
Wait. You felt terrible because what? Because you told her I don't want to do titles?
Well, because I was like kind of direct, and I felt kind of rude, because it's kind of like, why? When you have this team and you have this process, why are you bringing me into your process to review your work to come up with titles when you guys are capable of doing this? If at the same time you're going to ignore every other suggestion I make to make them better, like, it just doesn't seem like a good use of my time. Okay. So I felt bad for that. So then I waited, and she didn't. I saw it.
Wait. Did you say that? This doesn't feel like a good use of my time?
I think. Well, no. I said, why am I spending time on this? Like, why did you send this to me, and why am I spending time on this then?
Okay.
And so she's like, I just need titles, Mark. And that's when I wrote back, and I was like, your team is amazing at doing titles. Okay, you guys just have to come up with 3 titles, right? Come up with some titles.
Okay.
So anyway, but there was no response. So I felt bad.
You're on the rude borderline now here. Okay.
Because Nina's texts come across as very direct as well. So I'm just giving her back what she gave me. But anyway, so I went.
Regardless, whatever. So if your client is like, you can have the biggest potty mouth, whatever, you still get the control how you respond.
Yeah. So I felt bad. So I had a bit of time. So I sat down, I reviewed everything. I came up with titles. I created a template for your team. I packaged it in a template. I changed all the graphics to your fonts, and I sent her the packages, and I said, here are the titles I would do. Here's the template he would do. Here's how I would do it. And she was like, okay, cool. Thanks. And then I never heard anything again. Okay. So that's why yesterday, then I texted you where I was like, your team didn't even use, like, they didn't tag anything right. They didn't use the graphics. They didn't have anything. But that was my attempt to try and be more direct. And I still felt bad the entire time because my frustration probably came through.
Exactly. Yeah. That's, I mean, I haven't seen the texting, but Nina, might be direct, but it's not intentionally rude, especially to you. But whatever, even if it was, like, Mark, I'm just asking you to do one thing. Like, can you do this?
But look, I sent her all of these instructions too. I sent her all of these instructions and all of these links, and she never responded.
Maybe the instructions
the next day she did. Yeah. No, I don't know. They were next level. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. But regardless, leaning into why am I spending time on this? What, you're laughing now?
Yeah, I'm just reading back my text. Giving a lot of context. Oh no, sorry, I didn't say. I said, okay, so what do you want from me? And she said, do you still have the cut for? I want to ask for titles, but I had already responded. Why am I spending time on this? I said, your team is great at making titles for all the videos you do, right? Why are these ones different? Just make up titles for them, right? And then that she never responded to.
That's great, except the why am I spending time on this? Like being direct does not equal being rude and being frustrated. Unless there's a lesson.
I was frustrated that I spent half an hour coming up with things to work on, and every single thing was like, no, we're not going to do that. No, we can't do that. No, I don't need that. I just need this thing.
No, if your frustration is going to be taken out on somebody else, it's got to be from a place of love, and you have to pull them through in the conversation.
But I get frustrated really easily. And
Right.
I'm not good at figuring out when the appropriate time is or the appropriate way to tell people you're frustrated. So it's either like bottled up and nice and quiet, and I try not to let it show, or I'm like, I don't want to deal with this person, or it's going to come through because I'm going to be like, seriously, like, is this a good use of my time right now?
There's lots of paths to go down with that one, but
That was the longest pause I've ever heard you take.
There's which piece of that am I going to do I want to touch on? There's a lot that's in there, but it's important because for managing a team and for managing clients in a client service business, that's important. And there are times where you need to push your clients, and you do obviously, from a lot of the conversations already in today's call, need to figure out where your boundaries are and being okay with setting boundaries around things without you taking a personal, like, oh my God, I feel terrible about myself, or taking it out on the person saying, I'm trying to do this. And blah, blah, blah. You didn't say no, right? Like, fix it, right?
We're all learning, Evan. We're all on the path together.
I think back to, as an example, when you sent me in our early days of working together, the report, you sent a marketing report about how things are going at TDS with the marketing numbers. And it was this giant document and just a total disaster. And I ripped into it for feedback and love for you. And it may not have been understood well by everybody necessarily who was on the email thread to see it. But then when you sent the report, your updated report, like, I don't know, 2 months ago or something, I said, oh, this is looking good. You're like, I'd make these couple changes here. And she's like, wow, you were surprisingly soft or easy or whatever. Like, yeah, because it's much better.
Yeah, because it still needs work.
It still needs work, but it's way better.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but also, like, the person who took it on is new. Like, it was a different person creating this different report. I've only met him once, like super quick, while I was during job interview process. We haven't talked about our campaign at all. And so I expect mistakes. Like, if we're going to launch your version of the podcast clip to my Instagram, I expect mistakes. I just expect mistakes. Like, I'll explain it, whatever. I mean, I handed it off to Nina. That's on me for not being more involved in the process. She doesn't, know as much about everything that I do. And so she's trying. And so I expect mistakes, but can we fix it to make the next one better? Like you said, there's no talk about the show. Okay, what can we do? Can we add it to the description of that one? And then what do we fix to make it better the next time? Like, speed requires mistakes. It's okay. That's what happens. Speed.
You say that, but then I know, having worked with you, that you still get angry about mistakes all the time.
So what's the mistake? That if it's fast and it's the first time, like if it's a repeated mistake, yes, like this should have been fixed. Like, I just had to let somebody go. I had to take away like half of their responsibilities on the team because they were making the same mistakes that we had talked about over and over and over. And it's taking my time. Like, when I sit down to record on a Tuesday to make videos, for me this weekend it'd be Wednesday because I want to get ahead so I can spend time with Hayden, back to being intentional. And the same things that we talked about with them last week were still showing up this week. And last week I asked Nina, is it training or is it the person? Like, did we explain? Because this person was also causing issues, making mistakes in her work that Nina was managing. I'm not involved. I don't know the details. Like I can't, is it training? Does this person have the training is it on us that we didn't train them and teach them? Or do they just suck and not have attention to detail? Suck in this one area, right? Not suck as a human. But the thing that they were messing up with me, I had already explained like 3-4 times. And here it was again. It's like, can we, like, if we dump responsibilities today, what do we do? Because I don't want to have to deal with this again.
Mm-hmm.
And so on Christmas, this is Christmas, Nina's like, okay, I'll talk to Ivan, who's our main guy, who's doing a lot of research. Nina sat down on a call with him to understand what it should look like. She was updating a whole bunch of the videos to make it happen. And we were, shuffling responsibilities over to people who can do it. But like patience. Then like, hey, this is not it. Like if you kept sending me that report that I was soft on, if you sent me the same thing 3 weeks in a row or 3 months in a row, I don't know how often it comes up, be like, dude, like what? We talked about this.
Yeah.
What's happening? And it's based out of love. Like I want your reports to be kick-ass. So the context, like you talk about context and sharing context. I'm more living the context. Like it's hard to like enter the interdynamics of the people it matters a lot.
I don't know if Nina thought I was being rude or unhelpful or whatever. I just felt really, like Saturday, I just didn't feel good. I was like, yeah, this whole being direct thing isn't good. It's actually not good.
No, it's actually fantastic. You just suck at it. And that doesn't mean that you take out your frustrations on people.
No, it's better to go back to Hedge City.
Now you're baiting me.
Come on, Evan.
No, Mark.
You've been very empathetic and pitiful, filled with pity most of this episode.
Yeah, but I'm not.
What were you hoping the story was going to be when I said that I was practicing on Nina being more direct and you got really excited?
Oh, I don't know.
What were you hoping would happen?
So even understanding who you're talking to, right? Like Nina can be she'll just say what's on her mind and tell you what's going on. It's never with a bad intention. Like
I assume that she's very direct. She's very direct through text. That it would be good to be direct with her as well.
Yes, but there's a difference between being direct and then being rude.
Do you think I was really that rude?
That everything except that last sentence. Why am I looking at this?
That wasn't the last sentence. That was in the middle of the conversation.
Whatever. Yes, you're right. That one sentence. Everything else is fine. Your team is great at sentences. What's the problem? I'm in the middle of X, right? I'm spending time with family and working on a project, whatever. You got other stuff happening. Or this is honestly too much work. Let's just not promote the podcast. This came out of like, I want to promote the podcast more.
I think this is an awesome opportunity.
On Instagram. Right. But awesome. But maybe there's not enough time. Like the 10-minute rant of me just yelling at you that you love so much that we haven't turned to a video because you don't want to put 10 hours into finding all the video. Awesome. That's great. Right? Telling somebody, why am I looking at this? Especially when you haven't had, like, it's your first time working on something. There's going to be tons of mistakes that happen. That's the only mistake, and letting your frustration out, right? So back to empathy, like trying to think about Nina. You say, okay, well, she's running this thing. She may not know. Evan probably just handed something to her super quick and it's like they're walking on quicksand trying to figure this all out. I explained some directions. Maybe she didn't understand it. Maybe there's some words she didn't quite get. Maybe she was thinking something else, right? Like it's that patience. She's not trying to screw you over. She's typically pretty on the ball and responsive and getting stuff done, right? Like who you're talking to matters. Everything was great, but letting the frustration through, right? Being direct is great.
Now I feel good.
But she probably doesn't care. Like,
no, I don't think she cares. But
you're fortunate in that you're not dealing with a super sensitive person who's going to get caught up on one sentence and then life is over, right? She would have told me, and then I would have told you. Like, I would have looked at the whole thing. If she was upset, I would have looked at the whole conversation. Probably said, "You're misinterpreting this part. Like, This is just Mark. And then I would have come and said to you, like, Mark, dude, the way you text is garbage. Like, you got to fix this. But that's direct, but love. Right? So direct is good. Direct, you need to be more of. And letting people know the reason behind it, right? Like, I can't respond now because I'm doing this. And if they can't understand that, then again, screw them, right? Like, I want to spend time with my kids today. Okay, great. But if you're responding, I mean, we worked on my logo a little bit today, back and forth, a little bit yesterday, I think, back and forth. But if you said you had to go do something, like, okay, cool.
I did. Yeah, I was like, dude, it's night. I gotta run into the gym now. I gotta go.
Yeah, but I never would say, like, get out of the gym, tell Jacqueline, like, no, and fix this, right?
Yeah.
So you're allowing people to maybe take up too much time. And listen, I've done it too. I'm not perfect. Last Saturday, I didn't respond to anybody on Facebook. Like, the Saturday you're talking about when you're messaging Nina, I came back home after spending the day with her to like 12 different people messaging me on Facebook. And I hadn't looked at it all day.
Yeah, you did text me and say, oh, I hadn't seen anything today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was an intention to say, I'm going to be with Nina, be present. And then whatever, if any of those people couldn't handle it, that on a Saturday, I didn't write back to them in whatever, an hour or 8 hours. Maybe this person shouldn't be in my life, right? Like, when am I going to get on you to say, Mark, spend less time with your kids. Mark, spend less time with your wife. Mark, you have to make it. It's not that, right? But definitely being part of your effort, definitely not procrastinating, definitely moving things faster.
But it's the, like, you know that I'm on vacation, right? And it's still like, what are we doing with this? When's, like, what's happening here? What's, when I reviewed your stuff, or like on Christmas Eve, when I reviewed all your video stuff, like, I knew how important it was, but I didn't plan to have an hour set aside to do that. So
but I wouldn't have come down.
I haven't looked at your landing pages yet for typos, which I know exist, which I know that I got to get on, which I know I need to fix.
Well, that's a great example, right? Like, I sent out the landing pages. You gave me 4 different templates, 3 landing pages and a city page. You gave me 4 versions. I went out and coded it and created it. And then you said there was a typo on some pages, but didn't tell me what it was. So I said, okay, we're going to wait. And then I didn't hear back. And so, okay, whatever, screw it. I'm just going to put it up. Like, we're posting it with typos.
Yeah. They're not so bad. They're not so bad. Like, the typos aren't so egregious that someone would look at it and go, oh, I can't buy a ticket from this person. They're,
sure. Well, and
grammatical issues. And
that's the price. But it's never going to be like, well, Mark didn't respond to my email on Christmas, and so
I still feel bad, though. I still feel bad. It's weighing on me. Like, literally, like, yesterday, Christmas Day, I was like, it was yesterday, Christmas, 2 days ago. I was thinking, like, can I bring my laptop to my father-in-law so that way I can work on this stuff, or are they going to get? I was trying to figure out who's going to be more mad at me. Evan, for me not jumping on this stuff and getting it fixed right away. Alex in my office, who worked on Boxing Day reviewing all this stuff, which I was like, bravo, man. I love that. He's off. And yet he was working through all of our stuff to make sure the campaign's going to be set up. So that I really enjoyed. Or my wife's family, who would be like upset with me for working on Christmas Day.
None of that matters.
But that's literally the thought process. It's like,
but it's all poor thought process. It's all of that is just reacting to what you think other people want from you, as opposed to what do you want from you. Maybe going to your father-in-law's place is the best thing of all time. You look forward to it every year and you can't wait to go, and you're going to shut everything down and just play board games and wear sweaters. Or maybe you hate it and, like, you need any kind of excuse to just not have mind-numbing conversations and get something that's actually interesting, right? I don't know. Like, you decide.
Who knows? Who knows which one I feel?
But regardless of it, like, I wasn't upset. I'm trying to push stuff out. If you didn't have it, if you didn't look at it, we would have just gone with it and then fixed it. I'll do it again. Like, that's the cost of speed. It's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna make mistakes, but something is way better than nothing. even the videos that I made in here, Nina took my, I forget what it's called. What's the thing that connects like the pro mic to the speaker, to the computer?
XLR cable?
No. The cable plugs into something else. It's a little red box from Scarlett.
Box? A DI?
Huh?
A DI box? A DI?
I don't know. Anyway, this pro, I have a pro mic up here,
yes.
Right?
And it needs to have fan.
I'm not going to touch it. It can't plug into a computer. It's got to plug into a box.
A DI box.
It's got like the 3 things, and then the box was in the computer. That's how we make this whole thing happen. She took it out to test something else because we might bring it with us on our tour for some reason. I don't even know why. Anyway, the gain had been set to max because as she was testing something. And as I came back in, I recorded a whole bunch of videos, all my Christmas videos, and then I recorded, I don't know, 7 ads or so in here, all with the gain like cranked. And then as I started making another video, I listened to it back. It's like, wow, why is it so crackly? Like, what's going on? And I realized, oh my gosh, the gain has been set. And so I don't know. I emailed Christina. Do I need to redo all the ads, all the videos, everything? And like, where do I have the time? I don't know. I don't have the time. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably just going to go up as it is, and then I'll record them later. Or maybe they're not that bad and they're salvaged. But that's what happens when you go fast. It's okay. People are trying to be perfect, and then they screw up.
But see, you say that, and then we work together on things, and you fixate on things that you want to be perfect. You do.
But not at the expense of releasing. I want perfection in everything.
Okay. How is your Porsche? Is your Porsche getting wrapped?
Yes.
Yeah.
January 6th, I'm going in.
Nice. Are you using the guy that I referred to you? Or you found someone else?
No, we found someone else.
Cheaper?
No, more expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, do the guy on Instagram who has all those fancy cars? Or no?
I found him on Instagram. He's the best. He's the best in the country.
Yeah.
So like,
you showed him to me. You showed him to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But we're going to wrap it. We have the color. We have a template for a design, and we still don't have a logo. So if the logo's like, we're going to go with what we got, and it's going to sit on the car. Wow.
For 3 years, 4 years?
3 years. I mean, they're decals. You can always rip them off, put something else on. But it's going to go on for the tour. So what's your point?
Like that's a perfect example though, where when you were focused on it, you wanted to move very, very quickly.
Yes, always.
And you wanted it to be perfect.
Yes.
But you were like cycling through until you had your next obsession. And then it doesn't matter to you that it's not perfect. You want perfection up to a point, and then you're like, I'll just go with like the logo, right? We're working on the logo, and I think that I'm worried that you're going to end up defaulting on something that feels good to you because it's safe and it's known. You're going to try all of these things, experiment all of these things, not fall in love with any of them. And you're just going to go back to like, well, progress over perfection. Let's just go ahead and do what we've always done. So there are things that you want to be perfect. And then you're like, whatever.
No, this comes back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show, the micro and the macro.
Okay.
When I'm working on anything, I want it to be perfect. I want this podcast to be perfect. I want the video to be perfect. I want the audio to be perfect. I want our conversation to be perfect. I want my delivery, everything. I want it to be perfect.
But not at the expense of hitting milestones.
It's got to get out. It's got to get out. It's perfection for me is intentional time. I want my time to be spent on meaningful things that I'm proud of. And so when I create something, when I send you the logo and it's in the little box, when I'm trying to make LeBron James stuff, it's like, I made a video last night saying, I'm trying to do this thing. It's frustrating. I'm trying because I know what I have right now, even though people credit me a lot with my brand. You built such a great brand. Awesome. Thank you. It sucks. And I want to fix it. I don't know how to do it. I don't have the skill set. I can't articulate it. I'm not great at it as I'm great at other things. And so I'm hacking, I'm trying to make it perfect, but not at the expense of not releasing. Like something's going to go up. So it's always both, but people get hooked on perfection and then never release. That's the problem. It's not just throw up garbage and expect it, right? The Nina clip that didn't go up as you wanted it to, I want it to be perfect. I'm not happy that it's not perfect, but I expect mistakes to happen, especially in something new. So yes, I think everybody should be, it's like, should you say, don't be a micromanager? No, of course you should be a micromanager. You micromanage the thing that you're working on insanely well right now. You have to micromanage. But if you micromanage everything all the time, your business goes nowhere. Nobody just macromanages. You pick the things you micromanage on. So everything you do should try to be, when you go to the gym tomorrow, it should be the perfect gym experience. It should be the perfect run. It's always your intention. You're never going to hit it, but you're still going to go to the gym.
I love you, man. I'm just sitting here enjoying listening to you talk, and I'm just like, I feel good. I feel blessed that I have the opportunity to connect with you, and I'm never going to figure all of this stuff out, but
you already are
sitting here in the moment. I was trying not to think of the past or the future. Trying to be in the moment,
just be present,
listening to you talk, thinking this is how I want to spend my vacation. This is how I want to spend my time. I love it.
Great. Then you should.
Mm-hmm.
Not because Evan's going to get mad at you if you don't, or right. Like that's it's same thing. I like, if you look at macro on that, like if you're,
I know, but it terrifies me. It terrifies me when
it's not a good enough reason.
No, when people say
it doesn't matter. It's not a good enough reason.
When people say cut out, no, when people say cut out the stuff, cut out the stuff, like if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't like doing it, stop doing it. Lean in. I heard a clip from you where you talked about, if you only spend 10 or 15 or 20% of your time on the stuff that you're the most amazing at, you got to get rid of the other, 80% of the stuff so you can free up more time to do the stuff that you love doing, that you're excited by, that you're amazed at.
Yeah.
You do that's amazing.
Yeah.
And it terrifies me to think that I just can't imagine giving up the other 80% because so much of it seems so important and integral to my business, to my life, to who I am.
But you have to. You can't have a baby by yourself, Mark.
I don't know what that means, but
you need a Jacqueline. You're a really important part, but you can't have a baby by yourself.
I literally don't. I don't know how you're making this analogy work, other than it takes two to tango.
No. You want to take everything that's important and just do it yourself.
Yes.
You can't. You need to give important things to other people. You cannot bear a child.
I appreciate that.
Great. So your part was very important.
My wife would say not so much.
Okay, great. Well,
you can bring her on the podcast. She's got stories.
I think your part was pretty important. Her part was very important.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a baby by yourself, Mark. You can't do everything. There are pieces that you're going to, have to do things sometimes. Like when I was launching, on Christmas Day, I'm the only one working, right? I mean, my team, we launched everything and they were helping and everything else, but I'm not going to call on somebody, like all the admin work to launch. We launched 22 landing pages with 22 Eventbrite campaigns with manual tagging times 10. So 200 plus tagging with manual ticket options times 10. Like I did it, all of it. I did it all. And this is where like, I'm like, I normally would never do this, right? This is delegate to somebody on my team. This is copy and paste, like has to be done by a human, but I'm not going to do this, right?
Yes.
I'm not going to give this to somebody on Christmas to say, go make this. I want it to happen. So I'm going to do it. And as I'm doing it, it's like, oh my God, I'm amazing, right? Like, pat myself in the back. I am crushing. Are you kidding me? Christmas, and I'm pounding out like the most boring copy paste stuff of all time. I love it. I love that I can still like this is what's in my head, and I would never say this out loud, but this actually came in my head. For all of the, like, if I look at the people on my team who are doing this, or anybody who does this, right? Who they do more manual work, or they do stuff like copy paste. And
you're like, I'm awesome at this.
Like I could bury them all. I really like, this is what I'm telling myself in my head. I could crush this. Like it's my productivity. I think if I hired anybody to do it, it just wouldn't be as good. Like I just, even though it probably would be, right? It probably would be.
I feel that way about editing still.
And I should hire, right? But I think that's good, right? I think that's great. But it doesn't mean I should be doing that. That stuff's important. If we don't do it, my landing pages don't go up. People can't buy tickets. Like, it's great that I'm showing up to a city and being myself, but who am I talking to? Dogs on the street? Like, we need to have people show up. So we have to have it happen. I can't have a baby by myself, right? So we're gonna start. I need to bring my team on. I need to help them, and they're gonna make mistakes, and that's part of the process. Mark's hitting his
I'm fine, but do you have another one at 5:30? 3 minutes ago?
Podcast at 6.
Oh, at 6. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so you got to give that up. But you're gonna always, this is micro macro. Like, you're gonna dive in and do crap. There's so much crap you have to do as an entrepreneur every day to build a business that you don't want to deal with. It's not it's not fun. It's not the best of you. But if it's consistent crap, that's where you need to fix it. Like, if I was in the landing page business, there's no way I should be doing that every day. There's no way.
There's just so much I just don't want to do at all.
Great. So when we've talked about this, it's either don't do it and go way back and just do what you want to do, or you bring on the people who are great at doing it.
My hair is insane today.
You're okay.
It's like, really, I need a haircut badly. The other day when I saw you, you're like, wow, Mark, your hair is getting long. But
you're fine. What does Mark Drager want to do? And then living that life. And if other people don't like it, then maybe in the micro you sacrifice and you do it. But if that's happening every day, then it's the wrong relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Listen, those 3 things I talked about earlier, like admitting to yourself that you want it and not being afraid of it, is a big thing. It's a big thing for me. I think it's a big thing for people.
Great. So do it.
Yeah, but the flip side of it is not doing stuff, right? It's the like, I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm going to figure out a way to stop doing it, or I'm just going to drop it, or I'm going to delegate it, or whatever it is. But, you know, I think you worry about whether people are going to think you're egotistical because you think it's below you, or you just don't like it, or is it a good use of spend? You know, if you're hiring people to get away, if you're asking others to take on more work so that way you can just spend more time doing the things that you love, none of that stuff worries you, right?
I want to bring on people
you're Evan Carmichael.
No, well, sure, but you're Mark Drager. Like, I'm Evan Carmichael the same way that you're Mark Drager.
No, you're different.
Great, you're different too. But other people may see it as egotistical, but you hire people who are hopefully great at the thing, and they like the thing. They like the challenge. They like the opportunity to grow and learn and do that thing. If they're showing up, hating their life and saying, I'm only doing this so Mark Drager can go be fancy, then you have the wrong person. You need people who love the work.
I have nothing to say to that, yes.
People who love the work. People who love the work. Alex loves the work. Like, your Alex loves the work.
Mm-hmm.
He feels responsibility, and I know he's new, and you know, there's probably a million reasons why he's working on Boxing Day, looking at campaigns. Sense of responsibility, doesn't want to let the clients down, doesn't want to let you down, wants to earn his spot. I'm sure. I mean, I don't even know him that well, but he also loves the work. Like, when we met him one-on-one as part of the job interview, the thing that he came, and he's kind of introverted and shy and, you know, not super talkative, but when he started talking about marketing, he's like the most excited guy. Right? It's like his eyes light up and he's so passionate and excited. Like, man, like, this guy loves doing that stuff. But for other people, looking through reports and pushing buttons, sending campaigns is like death. So don't hire that person.
Yeah. I gotta say, I really love Alex a lot. He's great.
I like Alex too.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got something to prove, that man.
Yeah, you're building some good people. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
But you need boundaries, Mark. Boundaries for Mark.
I don't know how to do that. I'll figure it out, I guess.
You tell people without being frustrated that you need time to do X, Y, Z. Yeah. Evan, yeah. Evan, I can't look at your thing right now because I am going to blah. And then whatever, tell me what to do. Like, please don't message me until, if you said not to message you until January, I would do it.
I couldn't do that.
No, but if that was important to you.
I like to be needed too, though.
But that's the thing. You like it.
I like
as
it.
much as you're going to at the start, you said, but it's acts of service are my love language. Like, you love it. You don't actually want to be off for all that time.
No, I would prefer to, like, if things were easier. Like, Evan, here, I've worked on this logo. I'm telling you, man, this is awesome. And you'd be like, yeah, Mark, good, let's go with it. Rather than like, it's a smart move. I don't love it. And then, well,
this is then what drives me nuts. And we can dive into it if you want, but like it drives me nuts because yes.
Why?
Yeah. Because this is what you need to be great at.
I know. Taking your skin,
yes,
and then putting it up on a page, as a representation of you.
My soul. Yes,
I know you think that. Yes.
No, but that's not what I think. That's what you actually need to be great at. That's what you need to get great at. That is the whole game for you in marketing.
Wow.
What does a marketing agency do?
Every few months you tell me the new thing that I'm supposed to be great at.
Yeah. For marketing, that's the thing.
A year ago, it was like analytics and understanding financials and going through everything. You told me that that was the whole thing, that I had to be able to sit down with a company, look at all the financials, help them figure out what their budget should be, what their spend should be, do all of the analysis, do all of the forecasting, and then come back. That's what you told me that the whole thing was. Do you remember that?
Are you complaining or saying thank you? I'm confused.
No, but then the next thing that the whole thing was that I was supposed to be really, really good at Facebook and Google myself, so that way I could hire the right team to do it, and analytics and reporting and everything like that. And so anything that you're focused on is the thing that I'm supposed to be the best at the time. That's how I feel like it is.
Well, I'm working with a marketing agency, seeing holes everywhere and voicing opinions.
Because we don't do things in a system. This is always the same issue that we have. I step in to work with you one-on-one, and the holes you see is because I'm not running it through the process.
Why?
Otherwise, why?
Yeah.
Because you want to work faster than a process allows for.
Which means
I don't have staff or team right now.
No. Which means the process is broken. We're outside the process because the process does not work for the clients that you want to bring on and for the ambitions and goals that you have. You love working outside the process. For all your complaining and everything, you love it. You love it. You don't like oh my God, I got to respond to this thing, but this is the company that you actually want to build.
When we talked about your brand a week ago, only a week ago now, Friday, it was last Friday morning, we jumped on a call 1 week ago.
Okay.
Said, we will help you starting in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because then I have the team and I have the process and I have this, my designers are back from vacation and all of that stuff. Right now, you and I are just fooling around. It's just us trying to figure out stuff,
Yeah.
And so I'm really not a designer. I can design, but I'm really not a designer. So I have limited abilities and tools to be able to take your soul, barf it onto a page.
Exactly. Yes. But it should, sure. We're covering multiple points. Your company, you want to build a company that can do that and can do it quickly and not take forever to do it. And you're getting faster, but it's still nowhere near where you need to be.
Yes. I agree with you on all of those counts.
Okay, great. And you need to be great. Somebody, the company, whether it's not going to be Mark Drager, somebody needs to be great at pulling the soul and throwing it into marketing campaigns. The voice, the messaging, the imagery, plus the tactics of Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever else. So when you send me something back, you shouldn't love it. Like, you might love it yourself. You shouldn't love it for your client. I should love it. Like, I should look at it and say, you nailed it.
But you don't work iteratively like I do. So it's literally every time we go down this path, I'm always reminded, I'm like, oh, right, Evan and I do not, like, when I say, like, hey, here's 2 or 3 worlds, which one, they're all pretty messy, but which one should we pursue? And you're like, oh, none of them are good enough.
I'm trying to find seeds. When we looked at all of those things, like those designs that came from people that I brought on, like, okay, but look at seeds. Like, is there anything that we can pull? The final design that you love
It's not like I love it like I'm in love with it. It serves all of the boundaries that you've created for like has to be this and 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 this and this and this. That's the one where it's like it checks every box other than Evan going like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's just not Batman level.
Which is the most important box. That's the box.
But then I have to break some of your other rules you've set.
No. That's the box. That's the box of understanding your client.
Yeah. I see. I understood you enough to change all of your fonts without telling you.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
Actually make your logo better. And I even hesitated not to tell you, but then I was like, I better tell Evan. Just so you know, Evan, I've changed all your fonts because your current font did not do what you wanted it to do.
Okay, but what did I say? This is great.
Yeah.
That's the best that the word Carmichael has ever been written.
Has ever looked. Carmichael. Has ever looked
in the history of humanity.
It's a combination of railway and future.
Mark's font, it doesn't even matter. Mark's font, I love it. I saw it and I loved it.
Yeah. I now need to figure out how to bring that to everything else.
Exactly.
Yes. And tonight I'm back on it. I'm like a dog with trying to get a bone now. It's like a puzzle. It's like a game. It's like, can I win?
But you shouldn't love
with a game.
You shouldn't love this. That's why I said I get what you're trying to do, and everything you're saying makes sense. Mm-hmm. But you don't marry somebody off of a piece of paper. That's the problem. You gave me the perfect on paper bride. Awesome. I don't love her. But this is what I think
we'll work on it.
I think you actually are great at it. I think you are. This is the frustration and the push and everything else, and why it's also secretly so enjoyable for you, because it's you getting better at the. Just like I think Louis on your team can talk to animals.
Yeah.
I legit believe that. I feel like Louis can talk to animals and they would respond to him, and he kind of believes it. Like he says, yeah, I see that happens. Like no, dude, like you could actually like I think you should go and sit on a park bench tomorrow and try to get a squirrel to come to you. I don't think he did it. I think he still thinks that's kind of crazy, but I legit think that he could do it. He's just not very good at it yet. The same thing with this. You could be being direct and everything is never going to be like your superpower and amazing. You can get better at it and it'll help you.
I am very direct, but it comes.
No, but so it doesn't like
negative and crushing.
Yeah, because it's coming from frustration and a really bad place.
That's why I've taught myself to hedge, so that way.
Yeah, but you can get over that. You're just never going to be world class at that thing. But this, I think you can be, which is why I get frustrated.
Well, I'm sorry for frustrating you.
No, don't be sorry. Let's fix it. This is great. This is the process. Like Mark is, whatever you learn from me, you're going to now amplify, and not from me, but like the process of doing this. You're going to amplify it out because I'll be the most difficult client. Right. Yep. And then that makes you so much faster and better. And you're going to work with other clients to be like, just not a challenge. These guys are too easy. Yeah. But that's what I expect. I expect Mark Drager to just already know my brand because of all the stuff that we've already done. And just spit out awesomeness, whether it's him doing it with copy or strategy or directing his team, that then it's just perfect. I just expect that. So somebody sent me the same people that I hired to I hired a bunch of people to help do my logo. One person, instead of giving me ideas, gave me this questionnaire to fill out to do a brand evaluation or whatever. And most of it was like, how much do you care about the environment versus not environment, and care about this? Like, Jesus,
But I asked you to send me stuff and you filled it all in. You sent me like a really
I sent
thoughtful email.
I sent you what mattered. Which I could send someone else. But I feel like.
And I came back to you with Serena Williams.
yeah, which is interesting, which is good. Like I didn't know her brand. I thought that was great. I feel like you should ask me 8 questions and then get the answers.
But what the unknown for you, so on my side, the unknown is testing the boundaries for what we can fix and break and what you're like, no, I like it. So when I was sitting in church on Sunday during the Christmas service, sending you different font files because I was looking at different things, I was all kind of living in in the world that you wanted to be, right? Sans font, clean. I was looking for a really clean M with the angle, and all I was trying to do was figure out where the boundaries were, so that way I didn't put a ton of time into something that I'm like, this is the answer for you, and you'd be like, what? No. So it's always like those boundaries. Today, when I sent you the stuff with the italics and the offset versus the other one, it was literally just like, I think italics actually would really work well for you. You don't like it, you don't want it, it breaks it, all of those things. But I wanted to see like, would that be something that's just a hard no? Or is that something where it's like, maybe there's something to that. So there's a lot of back and forth, because mostly it's like, I'm not going to spend, like, honestly, hours working on something to try and get these things to align, when it could just be a hard no right away.
Yes. Here's where I would love to get you to. This is where the Mark Drager magic needs to come out. Right? This is your goal for 2020.
No. Today is 2020. There are no goals for 2020 other than we're going to try and kill disappointment.
That's a very harsh way of thinking, Mark.
I'm quoting you, right? Does your memory go back that far?
Dude, I snorted while I laughed at that.
Okay. Good.
The 85 to 100.
When you're 85% sure, you're 100% sure?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you actually watch the process of what happens, it's question, disarming is like, what is he even talking about? Question, and then boom, here's your answer, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the process.
I'm still not comfortable telling people what they have to do when it's something that is still very, what's the word? Subjective. A lot of the stuff that you like, I think, is very, very bad design, but you love it. Dude, and so it's just
everything is subjective.
Okay.
What should Mark do with his life? It's all subjective, dude. Sure. When I'm telling you to do something, it's not for me to go watch my friend go and do something. It's the best thing for Mark. Mark needs to go do this thing. It's wearing the skin.
So you want me to? Sure. And I feel like I'm getting there with understanding how I can help your brand.
Yeah. So then it's asking the questions and getting to the 85%. And some of them may be totally off. Like the questions that you asked me about the sunrise on Saturday, how that relates to, the italics on the I or not. Like, I don't care what questions you ask. A lot of the questions that I ask people feel totally random, but they're not, because I have a process and the process works. And then I'm going to get to 85%. And then there's no back in. This is it. This is the path. Now you have a willing participant, hopefully, when you're working with your clients, but they're also locked in on their path and what they want to do. So even when I sent you, like, I love my plane, I love my color, I love the font, I'm open to changing it. But like, I think the biggest problem was the stack. You coming back and saying, no, like, your font sucks. Look, here's why. Boom. Look at my new Carmichael. Oh my God, you're right. You're a genius. This new Carmichael is amazing, right? Can we make that the font for everything?
You can if you want, but yeah.
No, but like that. So it's you're going through a process in your mind, and you're pulling out the questions that they need to ask, like italics. I just think you can do it. I think you can do it. I know you can do it. It's just, and it's the best thing for you. Like that's the 85%.
I'll try not to let you down, Mr. Carmichael.
No, you're not letting me down. Just embrace it and keep going.
I've learned not to question. I embrace. I feel like I've already hit the point where I embrace everything now that you throw at me. I've learned not to question it. I've learned to spot the red flag of frustration or defensiveness, and just get right over that right away and try to get to the good stuff. Yeah.
There's this guy named Leo, and last story, because I know I gotta go. You probably have a lot to do too. Mm-hmm. There's a guy named Leo who followed me around Palm Springs for 3 days at a YouTube event. And he asked fantastic questions. And we'd end up in conversations on the first day, and he would totally forget the film. And he would never know like when I'm about to pop off and say something and when it's just a conversation. But then by the third day, like the last day we had a full day together.
You could spot it.
Yeah, like he just knew. He knew the questions to ask, and he knew when I was about to pop off, I knew something, and he had the camera ready to go. Right? He's great at that. Most people suck at it. And I wanted him to come to Toronto, right? Like he came here, and his grandma got sick, so he had to go back to California. But that, like, you're that talented. You can look at somebody and spend 7 minutes with them and know their entire brand and exactly what to do with them. Mark Drager.
So now this is going to sound egotistical, but I already believe that I can do that. And
No.
I'm not a designer.
Doesn't matter.
The break isn't the designer. No. It's not.
No, you're not.
Man, there's so many things I would do with your brand. There are so many things I would. The hardest thing, if I became your brand manager, the hardest thing would be dealing with you.
No, it should be the easiest thing because you gave the right thing.
But the thing you love isn't always the right thing.
Well, then let's have a conversation about it and tell me why. But it never is. You're not genius level at that. If you think you're awesome and something, you're not. Because then it'd be explaining to your designers how to do X, Y, Z, and it'd be still something similar. You have the potential to do this thing and be among the best ever, but it's nowhere close.
Well, I already think that I'm good at it, so.
You're good at it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I'm talking like all time, dude. All time.
Let's end it there.
All right. Have a great break, everybody. Holidays. We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Much love.
Happy New Year, everyone.
If you want to see Mark and I talk about why you need to be more direct so you can show people that you care, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and we'll see you there.
On this episode,
Mark is all over the place. I join him for the ride, and we talk about how Mark should be more direct.
Yes.
What else we talk about?